Welcome home. This is Audio EXP, the weekly podcast from Geek Native. I'm your host, Gerdy, and today is the 6th of June 2026. This week we are dissecting a critical economic crisis affecting independent creators, reviewing the structural realities of a record-shattering convention weekend, and unpacking some of the post-Expo system announcements. I also think someone has been messing with our intro music. Before we dive into our deep dive of headlines, we have some community milestone to kick off for the start of the month. Our patrons have officially selected Dice Average RPG as the celebrated honoree of the June role-playing game Publisher Spotlight. Looking forward, voting is now open to help us pick the July Spotlight winner. The 5 independent candidates in the running are ND Hobbies, Meandery Press, World Zero, Dungeon Mister, and Scald Crow Games. You can cast your vote right now by heading over to the Pick July's RPG Publisher Spotlight page. Our lead story this week addresses severe administrative and financial pain that is currently actively threatening the independent publisher space. We are tracking a growing crisis around the tabletop AI tax, exploring why policing machine learning is costing indies their livelihood. The core of the problem stems from a hyper-vigilant community sentiment in which the public observes and frequently calls out indie projects with sudden accusations of "this is AI art." Whether those claims are true or completely baseless, independent publishers are being forced to halt their production pipelines, to comprehensively document their creative processes, and show the step-by-step layer histories, and actively persuade skeptics that no generative machine learning was used. Navigating these public protests is draining a great deal of time and money from small creators. It's creating a brutal structural tax on human-led studios, threatening to choke out indie diversity simply because solitary designers cannot afford to lose days of labour to constant, exhaustive public defence. Sound dramatic? That was the consensus at the UK Games Expo AI and Tabletop panel. There's a write-up on the blog, but another consensus point was that no one wants to pay for AI creative output. This surprising, or perhaps not surprising for that latter point, take on AI comes on the heel of an absolutely historic weekend in Birmingham. The 20th anniversary of the UK Games Expo officially shattered all previous NEC attendees' records, welcoming an unprecedented 51,000 unique visitors and pushing the 3-day footfall to a staggering 88,000 people. However, this massive success meant local infrastructure buckled under the weight of the crowds. The sheer densities of bodies caused phone signals to drop and the venue's Wi-Fi to fail. And on Saturday, the hottest day of the convention, the air conditioning failed for a while, leaving the halls oppressively hot. Look, bring a fan and you'll be alright. Despite the sweltering heat, the celebratory mood remained intact as the UKGE People's Choice Awards were handed out by Olympic gold medalist Brownie Page, who's a gamer, and Luke Gygax. Tabletop role-playing game fans would have been thrilled to see Loot Tavern Publishing secure the role-playing awards for Roko's Guide to the Yokai Realms. Crucially, the convention also debuted the historic, poignant Patrick Campbell Award to honour the show's late co-founder. Rather than going to an industry titan, the inaugural award for the best stand went to first-time exhibitor It's Not Games for their highly thematic, accessibility-focused title, It's Not Cricket. For a full breakdown of the event, check out our report on how the UK Games Expo 2026 breaks NEC attendance records and the full review UK 2026 People's Choice Winners write-ups. The post-Expo scoop machine has also been incredibly active this week. Fresh off the show floor, we have a post-UKGE scoop on the Best RPG winner, Tales of the Old West, as it unveils its Gold Country supplement, promising to expand the tactical depth of their gritty frontier setting. We also saw an incredible, brutal, mechanical demonstration on the showroom floor. Paizo's 13 Omens playtest at the UK left Pathfinder fans in shock. The publisher showcased its highly lethal encounter changes that suggest the upcoming meta shift will be far more punishing than anything players have experienced in recent editions. Meanwhile, alternative rule sets are gaining significant momentum. Savage SLA was unveiled at UK Games Expo, formerly bringing the iconic dystopian Slay Industries settings over to Savage Worlds. The preview landed at the Expo, giving fans an immediate look at the game. Did you know that at one time Slay 2nd Edition was going to be a Savage Worlds RPG, but was thwarted by the strict PG-13 license that the system demands? For mini wargamers, we tracked a fascinating exclusive as Odyssey Collective unveiled its miniature agnostic dinosaur wargame 28mm BC, pairing historical tactical depth with raw prehistorical chaos. If you're looking to step away from traditional high fantasy or sci-fi entirely, we have two major design reveals that lean heavily into independent storytelling. First, we take a look at the setting with 90s paranoia inside the Midnight of the Century RPG. It's a highly stylistic project that trades on modern digital tropes for an analog investigative horror, and it's by Rune Cairn publisher by Odin's Beard. Concurrently, designer Graham Wamsley unmasked the Cthulhu conspiracy in a post-UK Games Expo reveal, outlining a brilliant design philosophy that pivots away from isolated investigators to look at systematic governmental cover-ups within cosmic horror. This is one to look forward to. Finally, we wrap up this week by looking at how to bring these sweltering summer temperatures directly to your table. Our featured essay explores the growing Summerween, or Gothic summer aesthetic, examining how daylight dread and the rot of peak abundance can be used to subvert classic tabletop horror tropes. It's a design framework that replaces dark dungeons with oppressive, blinding midday sun and agricultural decay. You can read my thoughts, which houses the July voting blocks, right alongside this hot weather design deep dive over at the July pick for the RPG Publisher Spotlight page. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening to Audio XP and for Bronwyn for covering last week. For all the links, the full awards list and the full stories, head over to Geek Native. Until next week, stay geeky.